Good morning. I'm John Ellsworth, founder of Success Strategies Incorporated and the creator of the Success Strategies Advantage. And I want to welcome you to today's presentation, which I've entitled, Who's Controlling Your Success? Author Andy Andrews, in his book, The Traveler's Gift, refers to responsibility as being the key to all success. You've heard of the 3 R's, I'm sure: reading, writing, and arithmetic. I would suggest that responsibility is the fourth R, or should be the fourth R anyway. Andrews said that responsibility is really accepting the problems you face, accepting responsibility for those problems. And as President Harry Truman often said, the buck stops here. Take responsibility. Now, I have to tell you up front that I don't know how much success you've had. I don't know how many challenges you've faced in the success you've achieved. But I do know this. I do know what you need to do. So, having said that, what to do? Step number one, develop a plan. I've consulted with people for 23 years in business. The last 23 years I've consulted, and you know what? I still haven't run out of problems or challenges that surface for clients and prospects. Face it. Let's just face it. Problems, challenges are just a natural part of life, and they're a natural part of business. So I think the thing to do as far as what to do is, let's start with 3 steps. Number one, determine where you want to go. Because as I said in I believe it was Alice in Wonderland, if you don't know where you want to go, any road will take you there. I think it's important that you determine specifically in your mind where you want to go. Number two, what are the pluses and minuses of that idea? What are the challenges that might arise? And expect them. They're going to happen. What kind of challenges can we expect? Just be predetermined in your mind that you're going to face some challenges. If it was easy, anybody would do it. So instead, you are doing it, so expect some challenges. And number 3, consider your why. I often start off with clients with this, and this can be a little frustrating to them, but they tell me what they want to achieve, and I say, well, why do you want this? And they look at me cross-eyed practically and say, often they just come out and they say, because I want to make more money. I said, at the risk of sounding like Captain Obvious, I say, so why do you want to make more money? After thinking about it for a moment, they say, because I want to be more successful and I want to stay in business. So I asked them another why question. Why do you want to stay in business? Why don't you just go get a really good paying job that's easier? You don't have to work 12 hours a day. You don't have to take responsibility for that. You just get your job done correctly. So why do you want to stay in business? And they will often come back and say, well, I have a son in college. And I'm thinking of a specific example when I use this story. But I have a son in college, and he wants to come home to the farm. And you know what? He'd be the 3rd generation on this farm. And that's a great answer. I have a question for you. Why does that matter? And the answer is, if our son returns as the 3rd generation, my dad would be very happy at age 85. And as hard as he's worked all of his life, I think he deserves that from us. And you know what? Guess what? This can be emotional and frustrating, answering these why questions. But I think if you identify your why, if you really get to the bottom line of making this gentleman's dad happy, with the 3rd generation being in the operation successfully, if you identify this why, your how you do it becomes so much easier. And as Andy Andrews states, and I quote, in the future, when I am tempted to ask the question, why me? I will immediately counter with the answer, why not me? Challenges are truly gifts and opportunities to learn. I want to leave you with one final thought as you head toward a new year and a new month ahead of you. What's your plan for next year? And while you may think that's a simple question, sit down and put it on paper as to what your plans really are. And that final thought again, what's your plan for next year? Again, I'm John Ellsworth, founder of Success Strategies Incorporated and creator of the Success Strategies Advantage, and I want to thank you for listening.